everybody, and welcome to yet another riveting edition of One More with Danny Coleman. Riveting, Nash.
Riveting. That tells you.
That's right. We are coming to you live right here on the Carousel Arts YouTube channel and from Monmouth Music in beautiful downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. One More with Danny Coleman is sponsored by Monmouth Music, as well as Antoinette Boulangerie and Mr. Pizza Slice. If you desire to see anything on this program or any ideas you may have for this program, please reach out to us at dcoleman.drice. That's D-R-I-C-E, dcoleman.drice at gmail.com. Or you can reach out to Matt Smith, our producer, director. What was he last week? What did we say?
CEO.
The CEO, CIC. Then we had all kinds of different initials behind his name.
CCO.
Right? See, that's right.
Come up with all of them.
And you can find him at droiceproductions at gmail.com. And we will gladly try to entertain any kind of ideas or thoughts that you may have. Send comments, whatever you wish, to that email. Also, this evening, I want to say hello to everybody watching us on Long Branch Cable, Channel 20. Nice to see all of you, too. So, for my guests this evening, we have...
My name's Doug Visdom.
And we have...
Caroline Feynman.
And together you are two, how many in the band?
There's four people.
So you are 50%. You are half
50%
of Mr. Payday. Hello, guys. Welcome.
How you doing? Yeah, that's it. All right.
And
I'm clapping for myself.
You were here, like, why not?
Why not?
Shameless self-promotion.
Oh, that's what I said.
That's why we're here, right?
If you don't promote you, who's going to promote you?
Exactly.
You are here, like so many others before you, because of Bob Macon.
Oh, yeah. He's the man.
We are celebrating his...
We're celebrating. The whole show is dedicated to Bob Macon because
Yes,
he's the man. I wouldn't be here otherwise, and he's a good dude. He's all right in my book.
There you go. See? He's got the seal of approval, Nash.
Yeah. He's got my seal of
So-
approval, that's for sure. He's doing
Now,
a lot.
Bob is running a 30th anniversary concert series for his title column, titled Making Waves. And you are not part of that, but you are part of the other event,
Yes.
which takes place in September, which Bob and I and Carousel Arts are all part of, and that is Rock, New Brunswick.
That's correct.
That takes place the weekend after Labor Day.
That's right.
Right? So,
I believe September 10th is the date we're playing, and then the next day is the big festival outdoors. We get to play this place called Volume 4 in New Brunswick. It's an old warehouse. We used to practice there. I've been practicing that place for years, and then a friend of mine, Chris Pierce, has turned it into a recording studio, and he also has shows there. So it's very interesting. It's an all-age show, and we're playing with 3 other fabulous bands, and it's going to be a very eventful event.
do you know who they are?
That would be Swerve On, oh boy, Spouter, and then there's one other band I can't remember off the top of my head. That's what happens when you get old. You forget stuff. Yeah.
Caroline would know nothing about that.
Probably not.
More than you'd think.
I can't. I feel bad that I'm forgetting the other band. I'll remember him somewhere down the line.
Right,
It
well-
dumps out of my head.
Okay, so, Mr. Payday
Yes.
is the name of the band. Who are the other two members?
The other 2 members would be Tom Diello, who plays bass, and then there's Nick Diamore, man of 1,000 bands,
He's in a lot
and
of
he's
bands.
a drummer. He's in too many bands. Nick, if you're out there, quit a couple of those, please. You're killing me. You're absolutely killing me.
I too am a drummer, and I suffer from that same fate sometimes. I've actually been asked to leave bands because I'm involved with too many other bands.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
you know,
Nicky's the kind of guy you don't want to throw out of your band, but you want to tell him to stop playing with other bands. But he's a very good drummer, and we're very lucky to have him.
Okay, so how does Mr. Payday come about, and how do we come up with that name? I mean, how do we form?
Well, that's like two things. The name is like a separate story, but
Well, let's start with how we started.
yeah.
We started out, I had been playing with Nick from the early millennium, okay? Around 2001, I believe. I was in a band, and it was called Casino Evil. And Nick answered a ad to come and play in this band. And I mean, we had already auditioned a bunch of guys. I know, like, most of the guys that play, they're great guys, but for some reason or other, nothing clicked. And then this kid shows up, this little chubby kid. He shows up and he plays just behind the drums, and I'm like, my God, this kid is good. He sounds like John Bonham, and it's like, I think I'm going to keep this kid no matter what. So the funniest part of the story is we get fired from this band. The three guys in the band, the singer fired all three of us. Not that I'm not going to say who did this. You know who you are, Bill. But we got fired by this guy in this band, and so we ended up, I was like, you know what? I'm not giving up this kid. He's too good. So we ended up playing with Nick. I played with Nick in this other band. It was called, we started off, our name of the band was Teabag. And we went from Teabag because we found out there was another Teabag somewhere else. We became This Stuff Will Kill You. And then I played in that band with my buddy Rob Buckley. Rob Buckley out there in Radio Land. But
okay.
So we ended up playing in the band.
How does this become Mr. Payday?
So anyway, this
Taking a long road.
So this peters out. Well, we got an hour. We're gonna kill some time.
Oh, believe me, we're gonna kill some time.
All right. So anyway, yeah. Once you get me going. So anyway, down the road a ways, this band kind of I don't know, whatever. We kind of got disinterested and didn't play anymore. And later on, I was like, I want to play with Nick again. So, like, I had Tom, who I've been playing with in my other band, Bad Karma. I was in Bad Karma for, like, close to 30 years.
Okay, now that band I've heard of.
Yeah, Bad Karma, we played for a long, long time. We played a lot of gigs. We played around a lot. And I want to play with Nick, and I was like, let's see what it sounds like with Nick and Tom as a rhythm section playing. So we started playing, and then Nick was telling me he had another band that he was in. I can't believe another band, right? So he's in a band called Moonslope. And we took Moonslope, and I was like, why don't we take both bands and combine the two bands? Because you just don't have a bass player, you got a guitar player. I want to play with two guitar players, and I want to also have a keyboard player because Caroline's a great keyboard player. Let's do that, and let's see how that turns out. So we started playing, and it ended up being Moonslope, which personally I hate the name Moonslope. Moonslope is a terrible name, but this kid wanted Moonslope. This other kid who played guitar, and we played for a while, and then this kid had a hissy fit and ran home with his equipment, and it ended up being the four of us at the end, and then it became Mr. Payday. The reason why we became Mr. Payday, I'm going to try to keep this as clean as I can. Because Mr. Payday, for anybody who's ever seen the movie Dirty Shame by John Waters, Mr. Payday is a character in the movie, and it's all about these people with their deviant behaviors. And they get hit in the head and get concussions, and then they all of a sudden, and they all act out on their wacky fantasies. But the one guy in the movie, this guy, Mr. Payday, goes around and he defecates in bathrooms and doesn't flush. That's the Payday. And then he also does the upper decker where you go in the top of the tank too.
I see.
And that's where we get the name Mr. Payday from.
So you guys are named after a guy in a movie who makes deposits and leaves them there for all to view.
Exactly.
Yeah. I see.
So most people don't realize that when they hear Mr. Payday, because for me, I mean, I always liked it. I like the name personally because it's almost like the big star thing. Like Mr. Payday, like nobody's making a payday in music anymore. Let's face it, unless you're Lady Gaga or you're somebody who really doesn't even.
Now
she's like one of the few people.
Are you original? Mostly original? All original?
Yeah,
all
pretty much
original.
all original.
Okay.
All original.
And how many CDs do you have?
Three. This is our third. This is our first full-length CD. We've had three, and it's on our own record label, which is Polanco Records.
Polanco Records.
And the reason why we're named Polanco Records is very interesting too, because down the street from my house, there was a building with these. It was a Spanish company that basically was like, we do laundry, we fix computers, we did vocal lessons, we do this. Polanco. They had a big van that drove around to Polanco. So I was like, Polanco Records. We're Polanco Records. We do it all.
There you go. Perfect.
So that's why we came up with Polanco as our record label, and unfortunately we had to put this record out on Polanco because we shopped it around, got no interest from anybody. which is just the
Imagine
music.
that.
It's just the music business at its worst,
Well,
as usual.
That's the whole thing. So,
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to sit around and wait forever for somebody, like, you know, wait for you to give me the handout. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I mean, you know.
Well, you have to do it yourself today. There's
Yeah.
no two ways about it.
No, I mean,
so how do you enter into this?
Well, I was in Moonslope with Nick.
Oh,
and-
the band that he hates, the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So me and Nick worked together, actually, you know, a long time ago. So that's how we met, and he found out that I like to sing, and I was like, I can play the piano, and he was like, oh, I'm in this band called Deluxe Thumps. So I joined Deluxe Thumps.
That's worse than Moonslope.
That's worse than Moonslope.
I wasn't in that band very long, but that was a 6-piece band, and that was just like, we were all over the place there. I mean,
Was that
there's
like
like
the
lots of
Underwater
different.
Submarine Band?
Yeah, there's a lot of different styles going on, and we didn't really like gel, I think, as a 6-piece, but you know, Nick and Greg was the name of the guitar player. They had been playing for a long time together, and they kind of liked adding me in as like a harmony vocal, and so we kind of, you know, we're a 3-piece in Moonslope to see what we could do with that. So I played a lot of bass lines, you know, on the keys, which was kind of interesting. So, you know, when we formed Mr. Payday, or the larger Moonslope,
And you
I
had
had to kind of like rework some of those
'Cause
songs.
you had a bass
and-
player.
Yeah,
right?
we had a good bass player, and Tom's a great bass player. So
Yeah.
I was like, you don't need me down here anymore.
So how long have you been playing keyboards?
Well, I took piano lessons as a child, you know, like started at like age 7, and then I, you know, played probably through high school and then kind of stopped, but I've always like known how to play. And so I like what I do now, since we don't have a second guitar player, is I sort of play like rhythm keys, you know, play chords and stuff, to sort of thicken up the sound. But lately we've been doing some more interesting things, branching out, adding some more instruments. Like we have a Moog organ now that we synthesizer that we use in some of our stuff. So it's getting more interesting.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely expanding our sound a lot, and
Who's the primary songwriter?
me.
Yeah.
You? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, generally it's like music by Mr. Payday. But to be honest with you, I wrote everything on the last record. I think Caroline will like back me up on
Yeah,
that
like
one.
we usually like, it's usually Doug. Sometimes Tom has written some things, and either they'll sing them, or like sometimes Doug will be like, I want you to sing this one, and he'll either give me lyrics, then I just come up with the melody for it, or there's
In the
one song
past,
on the
there's a
last
couple,
record that
yeah.
I did the
Okay.
melody and the lyrics for, but usually somebody writes like the main song.
Yeah,
Take it from
this
there.
So
record.
who's the lyricist?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got most of the music and the lyrics as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And you take it to the band and say, what can you do with this? Or you take it to the band and say, I want this here, and this here.
What do you say, Caroline? What do I do?
It's kind
Is
of
he
a
a
combination.
dictator?
He usually comes in with an idea, but like he's open to
Suggestions.
other things. Like
Open
sometimes
to
like somebody will do
interpretation.
something else and be like, "Oh, I was gonna have you do that, but like that
I'm
sounds
not,
even
I'm not
better."
I'm not a
you know?
dictator, because
Yeah.
I mean,
He
generally,
just comes up with
I,
the ideas. So,
I don't
but
think
he's,
I don't think I've ever told Tom what to play on bass, and I don't think I've
No.
ever told Nikki what to play on drums, because
Sometimes you tell him to take out some fills. But
yeah, I will. I'll be
that's
like,
it.
you can quiet down a little bit.
Yeah.
But generally, you know, it's a pretty good democracy as far as everything, as far as the way it goes.
Okay. Now, with the band itself, what made you want to go the entire all original route? I mean, I applaud you.
I've always done
Kudos
it.
to you guys.
I've always
because,
done it.
You know, it's
I've,
great.
I've always done it.
Okay.
I've been doing it. I mean, I was in a hardcore band to start off with. Like,
Right.
started out in 1984. I was in a band called Pleased Youth. They're a hardcore band.
Okay.
We were together for 2 years. We played a lot. We had a record out. We had a second record ready to go, and then, you know, like, the band kind of imploded. And then after that, I was in a couple bands. I mean, I've always been in original bands. I don't play covers because it's not where I'm at, man. I'm like, you know, I like creating music. I mean, I'm not here to interpret somebody else's music. That's not the way. It's not what I've ever done.
Bringing a smile to my face, Doug.
Well, that's the way it is.
I
you know.
love to
You
hear
should-
that,
You
you
shouldn't
know?
be. You know, you're not following the trends. You're supposed to be setting the trends. And I mean, I was in, you know, like I said, I was in Bad Karma for 30 years. I was on another band called Lunar Bear Ensemble, or Lunar Ensemble, for a long time. That band had like Martin Atkins from PIL playing in them for a while. Also, you know, I had this another drummer, you know, this guy Lance, who played with Sonny Chirac. I mean, I played in like sophisticated jazz band. You know, I mean, I'm play, you know, whatever. You know, I mean, I'm a creative person, and I don't really think you should be. I mean, for me, music's kind of sacred, and I don't really believe in, you know, just going out and playing somebody else's music. I mean, yeah, we'll play a cover once in a while, but it's about writing music and going out and doing it. I mean, why would you?
Who'd you listen to when you were growing up? Who influenced you?
Who influenced me?
Who made you want to write original music?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Lou Reed, John Cale. I mean, I liked the Clash a lot when I was growing up. I mean, I liked the New York Dolls. I mean, I was like a punk rock kid, you know. I liked all that stuff, you know. And before it was fashionable, I liked it, you know. And all of a sudden, you know, like this other stuff came out, you know. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff I listened to over the years. I liked XTC a lot. They're a big influence on me. I love Cheap Trick. That comes through with the band a lot. Cheap Trick, yeah. I mean, this band in particular.
Did you happen to see them on this tour yet with Foreigner?
No. I'm not gonna go see Foreigner.
I was very disappointed with Cheap Trick.
I like Cheap Trick, but you know what? I was not thrilled that they got rid of Bunny Carlos, because that's kind of a bad move. You know, I don't think it's good. You know, you're putting your son in there playing drums. No offense, it's like that kid. You know.
Yeah, but in their defense, Bunny's had health issues for.
Yeah, but Bunny wants back in, and they won't let him back. So.
Does he really?
Yeah, he wanted to. He was very upset about the whole thing too. He's still playing. He still goes out and plays. He had a lot of back issues. I know that.
Yeah, he had.
But I've always been a big Cheap Trick fan, and I mean, you know, it's like them playing now. It's not like Cheap Trick really as much as it was. I saw them a lot of times in the past. I love them. I love Cheap Trick. They're a big influence in this band, particularly because we're going for more of the power pop route. You know, I mean, definitely there's a lot of influence there.
Okay, how about you, Carolyn?
Well, like I was telling you before the show started, my family's from the South, from West Virginia, so we listen to a lot of like old school country. You know, Patsy Cline, stuff like that. Which we actually do cover when we do cover.
We did.
The occasional cover. We have a Patsy Cline and a Loretta Lynn song we do. So I think
I love country too.
Yeah,
so
I think that comes through
it.
Sometimes. We used to have like more of a country song that we played when we were working on.
Probably on the next record, and most likely we're going to probably branch out a little bit more. This record, I think we kept it really pretty solid in the same vein. I mean, it's kind of almost like a concept record. I really wanted to, because the thing is, I mean, one thing that's like one big influence on us, and I would say more than anything else, maybe not as much musically, but the Ramones. Because the one thing I like playing, we play live, it's like one after the other. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to break your eardrum. But I mean, it's one song after the other. I don't mess around. You know, we're on stage. You know, everybody snaps in, and we play like 8 songs in a row without stopping. And we call it the trains leaving the station, man, because when you get up on stage and, you know, the club owners start getting mad at you for playing too loud, they can't stop you because you're not stopping. You know, they're trying to get your attention. I've had people come up there like this, you know, holding their finger up, and I'm like, how you doing? Have a nice day. We ain't stopping. We ain't stopping.
So to get many repeat gigs?
Yeah. We get plays.
Where do you guys? Where's your base of operations?
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick.
Area.
It used to be the Court Tavern, and it's not the Court Tavern anymore. So I mean, right now I love Pino's. It's like a great place.
Yeah, we
it's
played
in
there
Highland
a lot
Park.
Recently,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's very loose atmosphere, much like the old Court Tavern used to be. Be nice if they actually charge money and you paid you, but I mean besides that, I mean I like the Pino's. The atmosphere in Pino's is great. I love playing that place. It's really fun. We just played Maxwell's, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, despite the fact it's not really Maxwell's anymore, it's like everything else around here. You know, it's changed out. You know. I mean, we haven't played the Brighton in a long time. I'd like to get back into Brighton at some point, but for some reason or other, we just doesn't happen. So I'm not going to cry the blues, you know. I mean, if they want us to call me, Greg.
That's right.
Hey, Greg, call me.
Did you guys? Did you get any of the pizza, the pregame meal?
No.
Or were you guys in here? Well, there's some left. If you want to post, you want
No.
to skip dessert and go for that. But Mr. Pizza Slice is a Red Bank institution with a new vibe. For over 45 years, Steve operated Mr. Pizza Slice right here on Monmouth Street in beautiful downtown Red Bank.
Hey.
The new owners have kept the original pizza called Steve's Original Pie, as well as the signature Italian hot dog and french fries. New additions include pizzas with various toppings that can be ordered by the slice, hot and cold sandwiches, and smaller appetizer dishes. They've kept a lot of Steve's feeling there in a classic video game machines, and they have added delivery services, longer hours, and even now, Sunday hours. That's Mr. Pizza Slice right here in Red Bank, and I want to thank them for helping us out with the pre-show meal.
Well, I'll have a slice. I'll have a slice later.
Yeah, we have some margarita
slice.
pie and a plain pie.
Oh, a
out
slice
there.
in honor of Tom.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey.
In honor of Tom?
Yeah, my bass player. Hey. Nikki and Tom. Or
They're
do we
the-
call them the Noble Roman
the
Rhythm
Roman.
Section?
The
Hey.
rhythm section.
They're the Noble Romans.
So, punk rock, huh?
Yeah.
With the band? Now,
Yeah.
how much of that, well, you said it comes through in your sound now.
You know what? The energy comes through. I think
Okay.
it's more. I don't think it's really as much a punk. I wouldn't say we're punk rock. I would never. I wouldn't say that.
We do a couple punk covers.
We do that once in a while. I
you know,
mean,
Little
it's like
Weak or
it's
when the
a,
occasional
it's what I grew up with. So I mean, the high energy is definitely there for
Do
that.
you know who I had one time on my radio program? I had Bobby Steele.
Oh yeah, okay.
And him
You're
and his
dead.
wife, you know, they come walking in and they're still in character.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
man.
and black leather and spiked hair.
Some
and
people don't give that up, man, and I mean it's fine.
they were the absolute sweetest people that ever walked the planet. Polite, you know, they were just unbelievable. And they came in and they played, and you know, it was great. He still
Man,
got
Bobby
that.
Steele's still out there playing.
Oh yeah,
man. God bless
he's
him.
in
The Undead.
yeah, the Undead.
The Undead's his band, and I mean that's what he did after the Misfits.
After the Misfits, yeah.
Because God knows, I mean, he was probably too nice to be in the Misfits.
That's
I
quite,
could-
that's quite possible.
with
I'll
those,
tell you.
with those guys.
He was an incredibly nice gentleman.
Yeah.
You know, if you closed your eyes, you wouldn't believe, you know, that he was this punk rocking dude in black leather and everything he showed up. It was really, you know, which proves that you can't judge a book by its cover. Know what I mean, Nash?
Yeah.
Right? Nash, you're not. I realize it's summertime on the Jersey Shore here, but you're not in flannel.
No, it's too hot.
You don't have like flannel colored T-shirts or no? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
They're my
uh-oh.
my bag.
Are we strategizing?
You know what? Yeah. Let me. I hate to be a pain in the neck. Let me get up for a second here. I'm just gonna go and get this out of my bag.
Uh-oh.
I'm always self-promoting.
Okay.
Because why not? We just got our new CD.
Oh, you didn't bring it out?
Oh,
my Lord.
And this is our new CD, which is called Welcome to the Modern World.
Okay. And you said this one's a full length.
This is a
Yes.
full-length record, 10 songs, clocks in at around 40 minutes.
Okay.
And it's a good record. I'm
And,
very, very proud of this thing. And, you know, we worked very hard.
Were the others EPs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like six and 7 songs.
Okay. And was this recorded home studio or did you
No,
record it
no,
somewhere?
we went to a place called Hoboken Recorder, but it's called Moonlight Mile. It's up in the old Neumann leather factory up in Hoboken.
Okay.
And that's why if you look at the back cover, it's even got the smokestack here from where we were sitting out in the back when we recorded it. And that's us sitting outside. Of course, I superimposed the red there to make it look like the place is going to blow up. So, yeah, it was definitely a great experience. I thought we did, you know, the record came out great. I'm very happy with it.
We often, Matt and I often have this discussion about the red wall. We think it's going to blow up. That's why we keep it.
Yeah.
Keep you
It's
on
like
your
fire.
toes.
See, like, look, it's like, there's the red
Yeah.
wall, there's the
Where'd
red
that disc go?
background,
It disappeared.
and there's the red
Oh, there it
background
is.
on this. Yeah, no.
What did
Yeah.
he say?
It's the color is called Flirt Alert.
Flirt alert.
Wow.
Nice.
Ah.
Yeah, that's all me. Okay.
I'm
It's
telling
like
you.
a nail polish color.
Yeah, there we go.
Really.
I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was just, I don't know who that joke was for.
That's what it's always.
It's for me,
It's always
I
good to
guess.
have the woman perspective
Just
here at the
thank
interview.
you for that very much.
And that's one thing that I really is good about this band. I like it. It's the fact that we do have the feminine touch too with this band, which is good.
So she is the rose amongst you thorns? Is that
Oh
what you're
yeah.
telling
Well, yeah. Thank God you said thorns.
me?
I like that. That's good. Much better. Much cleaner.
Yeah, see?
There we go.
Why not? What's it like being the rose amongst the thorns?
I can quote the entire Godfather movie
Oh, of
without
course you
having,
can.
before
And
I even saw
Goodfellas.
the movie, and Goodfellas. Yeah, so there's that aspect. No, they're actually extremely sweet. Like, Doug comes off as rough and tumble, but I have, since I've joined the band, I've had 2 children, so they're like so supportive of that. They were so sweet when I was pregnant with my children, like, carrying my stuff for me, and they're not as tough
she's
as
still-
Did you gig while you were pregnant?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and we recorded actually the
We
last.
recorded the
album
last
when I-
record.
when I had
We
my son.
recorded record we recorded. We did like a 12-hour session, and she was about 7 months. What was it, about 7 months in?
Maybe 8 almost.
Yeah, it was. It was. I felt so bad, but you know what? We were
We got
like,
it
we
done.
gotta get it done. And one day,
And now
did
my,
the whole
my
record.
kids
This is
like
why
to
this
listen to the
one.
music, so
This one we took 3 days to
Yeah.
record, so we took
Yeah.
time and we wanted to make sure it was done
So
right.
what's that like gigging when you're pregnant? Like if you hit a bad note, you don't get all like emotional and stuff. Do you?
No.
I know you're all like hormonally
no, it's
imbalanced.
more like I'm just like hot, like with all the lights, that was the main problem for me, and like carrying my stuff around and having to stand a little further away from the keyboard, because but it
At one point, she was sitting down. I remember that.
toward the end I was like,
at
I
practice,
can't do this,
like,
like
you
I have
know,
to sit now.
She never sits.
And I
Even
never
now,
sit playing.
tonight when we play, she's gonna be. I'm gonna be sitting down, but she'll be standing up.
Yeah,
So how old are your children now?
they're 1 and 3,
Nice.
so it's a little crazy,
Okay.
Yeah, no.
but yeah, we make it work.
Well, you have to,
Yeah,
right? That's
Yeah.
music.
yeah.
Now you mentioned something just a little bit ago
hmm
about the Court Tavern and
Oh,
what's
yeah.
going on, and you said it'd be nice if we'd get paid.
hmm
You guys do a lot of freebies?
Well, probably more than you want to. I mean, you know what that's part about when you're doing original music.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, unless you're a name band, you're not getting paid very much, and it's just the way it is, and it's an unfortunate part of it. I used to get paid at the court, but that was also because I used to work at the court. For 30 years, I worked at the court, and I also booked it, and I made sure the bands got paid.
Right.
So things haven't exactly gone the same way. I have to say that the guy who's running the place now is not very supportive of live bands. So, I mean, whatever. I'm not looking to play there again, so it doesn't matter. I can say what I want.
On my way here,
Yes.
I received a phone call from a young musician, 17 years old. Him and his buddy have a duo, 17 and 19. So right off the bat, they've been eliminated from playing the bar scene.
Yeah.
Unless it's a bar and a restaurant where they can get away with,
Yeah.
underage people. So we were having a discussion, and he mentioned how he goes to the open mic on Thursdays or Tuesdays, I think it is, at the World Cafe Live in Philadelphia, and he plays because he's from South New Jersey, Southern
Okay.
New Jersey, and he goes there and he plays, and he says, I'd love to get into some of them Shore clubs. Said he got an email from the Brighton Bar, about seeing if they were
Yeah, I think they do it. I think they do it. They do 18 and up. And
right. But he had mentioned something about another gig, and it was, I can't remember where it was, but they wanted him to sell 50 tickets.
Oh yeah, it's like that's a big Shore thing.
And every band does it once.
Mm-hmm.
But it cracks me up because there are several bars that I know of who claim to be these huge supporters of original music,
Yeah.
yet they won't pay the original artists.
No,
Now,
of course not.
there's only, you have to bring 10 people, you have to bring 50 tickets, you have to sell 50 tickets. you have to
The ticket, the pay to play thing is like
Right.
something I'd never subscribed to.
And me either. And I said to him, I said, look, if you want to sell your soul and pay to play, the only person getting rich is the club owner
Yeah.
or the venue or the promoter. I said, so many people want to play some of the popular Asbury Shore clubs because they could say, oh my God, I played, this bar, I played that bar. But you deserve to be compensated for your time and effort while you're there.
Yeah.
I told him the story of I had a bass player in a band one time that I was in, and he went to try and get us booked because another band he was in was playing at this restaurant. And he says to the guy, "Hey, I got this other band, we're older guys," and he said, "We do well, we have a nice following, we'd like to play here." And the guy looked at him and said, "Well, how nice of a following?" He says, "What's your following?" And the bass player just he lost it on him. He looked at him and says, "Don't you have customers? If you're depending on me to bring people in, I'll do my part. What about you?" And it's true, I understand it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
That bar owners count on music on their slow nights to bring people. But there's one way to get paid for original music, and that's to get people out to listen to it.
Oh, you have to.
So,
You absolutely have
if
to.
you're a 4-piece band, then each of you tell 25 or 30 people, and 10 each show up, that's 40 people right there. I run a happy hour at a bar in Trenton the 4th Tuesday of every month. I've been in there when it's not my happy hour night and it's not an open mic night. There's 3 people.
Yeah.
If I bring him 15, 20 people, he's ecstatic.
Yeah.
So I get that whole thing. But the original bands today, and it's usually and I've experienced it with this program, a lot of the younger bands that I've had in here on this program, they don't promote. They don't promote themselves. They don't promote anything until the day of or on their way here. Oh, by the way.
Yeah. Well, listen, I booked a club for 20 years. I booked a Court Tavern for 20 years.
Okay.
So I'm well aware of how you have to promote. And I know there was times when I wanted to book bands that I love.
Right.
And I had to say, I can't book them because they're not going to make money.
Because they don't bring anybody.
They don't make money.
And I thought
it's an unfortunate part of it, but in the same respect, if you're running a bar, you have to be cognizant of that.
It's a business.
It is.
That
It's
part
just
I
a
understand.
business.
But if you're going to have entertainment, you're going to have hits, and there's going to be misses. And you hope to have far more hits than you do the misses.
Oh, yeah, no.
But the bands themselves should, although they should be counted on to bring some people, your establishment should be able to draw people in as well.
That's part of it, but then you also the bands do have to bring people, and I know we believe me, I do the whole slogging out of doing everything in my power to bring people out to gigs. I do flyers. I have the Facebook thing, which you got to be if you're not on Facebook and in a band, you might as well just not be in a band anymore, because it's not about putting up flyers and anymore, and it's
You want to laugh? I was booking bands at a place down in Mount Holly. Friend of mine,
Mount Holly,
right? Friend of mine bought the restaurant, changed the name, remodeled the place. He's doing very well, but he said, "I want to just try and get some music because once the dinner crowd goes home, it's kind of dead by 11:30. I want people to stay till 12.
Yeah, that's
1
what you
o'clock
want
in
to
the
do.
morning.
You want to get them
Right.
out.
So I helped him out, and I booked a bunch of acts, and it just, no matter what, we tried it for a year. It just
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Some places just don't have that.
Right. So he's got a great dinner crowd, but it just didn't work. So I had a band reach out to me and contact me. I understand you're the guy that books a band. Yeah, I am. Well, we want to play there. Okay, well, I'm not booking full bands. Right now I'm only trying duos and trios to see how it works out. Well, but I'm a full band. Okay, do you have a can you make that a duo act? Can 2 guitars? What do you need to make it is it a trio? If you're a trio and you got drums, that's fine too, but I there's a certain amount of money every night that he wants to pay, and I can't pay a 6 or 7 piece band, 5-piece band. He says, "Well, I could do that." Okay. All right. Do you have a link you can send me? Do you have what? No. Are you on social media? No. Do you have a website? No. We're all older guys. None of us bother with the computer. Well, how am I supposed to see what you sound like? Well, if you want to book us, you're just going to have to come out and see us.
Yeah.
That's like me walking into a place and saying, if you want to hire me, you're going to have to call, come get my resume.
You know what he would have heard from me? Click.
That's exactly what he heard.
Yeah,
I
would've
said,
been like,
okay
get
then, I'll
lost.
tell you what, I'll call you. Click.
Let me tell you something though. Sometimes you wonder because I'd get some press kits from people, and I'd be like, what were you thinking?
Right.
Like these bands, like, what are you thinking? Coming up with this is like the worst concept I've ever heard of anything.
I watched a guy at Jenkinson's one time.
Oh,
There were 3 bands. It was like my children were small, and I had taken them to the aquarium, and we decided to go to Jenks for lunch. And I'm sitting there, and I'm with them, and there were 3 bands waiting to talk to the guy. I forget who he was. I forget his name. He was an older gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
They came in. They handed him a press kit. He opened it up, looked at the CD, put it down, said, "Okay, thank you." Next one, he come in, same thing. "Okay, thank you." Picked up the first CD. Put it in he had a CD, like a boombox CD player.
Yeah.
Picked it up, put it in, took it out, right in the garbage. Right
Yeah.
in the garbage. Just
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it under the garbage can, big, you know,
That's better than what we used to do.
right in the garbage. I was like,
I'll tell you about what we used to do. I used to book with this guy who was in my band who was in Bad Karma with me. This gentleman named Mick Preston. Mick also ended up roadieing and doing a lot of stuff with Ween later on.
Oh,
He's
okay.
he ended up joining the circus and running away.
nice.
But
We should do
me,
that, eh?
me and Mick used to go up in the office and we'd listen to stuff because he booked with me at that point, and I had a baseball bat up in the office. And if it really stunk, we'd get the baseball bat, boom, knock it out the window. There's like the tree out in front of the bar, which they eventually cut down, used to be covered in tape. Like
From
all
the
tapes,
CDs.
all the tapes.
Cassette tapes.
This is back when people used to submit cassette tapes all the time. You got to remember, this is back in the late 90s. I mean, poof, we used to knock them out the window. We'd break them. We'd smash them. We used to, at one point, we used to use CDs as ashtrays. Not ashtrays, but as coasters in the bar. And then people started getting mad when they started seeing
Their disc was a coaster.
Because they were so, we were like, this is, out of everything you'd get, literally, it'd be like 1 out of 20 things would be anything of worth. Everything else would be like, what were you thinking?
Right. So how did you guys get involved with Rock New Brunswick? Speaking of
Bob,
New
yeah.
Brunswick,
Bob
right?
Macon.
And he approached you, and you guys.
Bob had talked to me because I'm on RSU, and he wanted WRSU to be a media partner on Rock New Brunswick.
Right.
And I was like, me and this other gentleman, Frank Bridges, who's runs the Overnight Sensation show. And we both were like, we'll definitely help you, as a media partner. And I'll go to like our, the guy at the station and get that all worked out. And ended up, I tried to get us on the main stage, but that didn't work out. So we ended up playing the warm-up show, which is fine. And, I think it's going to be a good show. We'll have a good time there. But as it turns out, it's just like it was interesting. And I'm glad because I kind of really reconnected with Bob a lot. He's been helping out a lot with launching the CD a lot. He's really helping out a lot. He's a great guy. I almost wish that I would have had done this about a month later because I would have definitely had a big thank you in there just for him alone, as in my big general thank you for everyone. Thank you for coming to see us. Thank you for playing us on your radio station. Blah blah blah. I would have been like, thanks Bob, because Bob's been like very very
Big
good to
supporter.
us. Big supporter, and he's been very very helpful. And I mean, he's gone way beyond what he needs to do for me, and I really appreciate it a
That's
lot.
great.
And it's good to be involved with the Rock New Brunswick thing too. And I had at one point I actually had a band that I was working. I've been working with him making flyers up for the Rock New Brunswick, and I also had a headliner that unfortunately dropped out at the last minute, which is not good. But besides that, that was like kind of a bad thing because they were actually confirmed and then they unconfirmed because they got some dates playing with the Descendants, which I can't blame them. I mean,
Right.
the Descendants is a big act. I'm just
sometimes stuff like that happens and it can't be avoided.
it can't be avoided, but yeah.
But so if you're just tuning in, clicking on, listening, watching,
Yeah.
this is One More with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman, and this is Doug Visdom and Caroline
Feynman.
Feynman. I was going to say Feindman, but that's why I almost forgot. Feynman. Caroline Feynman of the band Mr. Payday. And I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. And I want to talk about these pastries right now from Antoinette Boulangerie.
They do look good.
They do. You're welcome to have them. That's why the plates are there holding them up. Have a pastry.
Yeah.
You too, Caroline. Eat 'em. That's right. Eat them up.
I'm looking at them. It's like I'm getting hungry
look
now.
really
Right?
good.
Go ahead. Specializing in creating delicate and sophisticated works of art using only the highest quality ingredients. Located right next door here to Monmouth Music at 32 Monmouth Street in the heart of downtown Red Bank. They're a fully operational bakery with all of their baking done on the premises daily. In addition to their handmade variety of croissants and Danish, Antoinette's offers a dizzying array. Look, he's spinning. Of traditional French pastries, macaroons, cookies, and savory treats. Find them at AntoinetteBoulangerie.com. And I want to thank them because every week they provide us with pastries and they provide us with coffee and all the accoutrements to go in the coffee, milk
Awesome.
and sugar. All right, so while he's eating, go ahead.
Oh,
Just
let me
grab the
grab
whole
a plate.
thing.
Let me grab a
That's
plate.
it.
I want-
Beautiful.
I want to lose the
Perfect.
angle of
He's
this
gonna
thing.
dig
See?
in here.
See what we how we take Nash, how we take care of our guests here. at
Yeah,
OneMore?
man.
Every week.
We have our finest papyrus plates. You know, we're good. So, Caroline, while he's munching away and chewing over there, you said you grew up listening to country music?
Yes, I mean
Of
that was
sorts?
some of it. Yeah, like that was like always like our road trip music, you know. And
Did
I
you have
grew
the
up-
station wagon with the wood
We
paneling?
did. It was Buick.
Nice.
Yeah, it was terrible too. It broke down like every month. My
Of
mom
course.
was like about to, you know. But yeah. So there's a lot of that. You know, I grew up in the '90s. I was born in the '80s, so I'll listen to a lot of alternative, you know, grunge that like hit the scene when I was,
Okay.
you know, growing up.
Right.
So I can definitely appreciate, you know, when we bring like some old Bad Karma songs that never really got their due. We have a couple of those, and I can really appreciate that because that's sort of a sound that I've always liked.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think. I mean, you know, as a kid, so there's always like the terrible pop music rotating. But you know, that's
the
it.
terrible pop.
You know, it
music.
kind of helps you come up with melodies sometimes, having that influence because you know, pop is pop and it's catchy and
No auto tune here though.
no auto tune.
No
Yeah,
auto-tune.
no auto tune.
It's
I was
all
born
natural.
in I was born in the 80s, the 1880s. You know what I mean?
Me and you both.
All right, my wheelchair is parked outside. Correct, Nash. Thank you very much. So, so what did you do for as a child? I mean, how'd you get into music? What'd you do for kicks in West Virginia?
Well, I didn't grow up in West Virginia. My
Okay.
parents are from West Virginia.
Oh, okay. Where'd
yeah,
you
I
grow
grew
up?
up in Princeton.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, you said
So-
you lived in Princeton. I didn't
Yeah.
realize you had grown up there. Okay.
Yeah, I actually.
Talk about going from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
Right?
West Virginia to
Well,
Princeton. It's like
yeah.
the Beverly Hillbillies.
Whereabouts in
Well-
Princeton did you grow up?
I guess you could say the north side, like sort of near Montgomery, up by the airport.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Outside of Hillsborough and
yeah, but still like
Skillman
within-
up that area?
Yeah,
Yeah,
toward
okay.
that way. My family moved to Princeton in the '70s. My dad was the superintendent of schools, and that sort of landed us there.
Oh,
and
your father was an educator.
He was, yeah.
Okay.
He's retired, but you know. So we stayed there in the same house for like 40 years, my family, and then
Oh,
my
wow.
mom just moved out. So
Okay.
yeah, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
that-
kind of a weird mix of.
I have a friend
Things
that
going on.
lives in Skillman. If you take 206, if you take 206 all the way up to, trying to think of, or not 206, maybe it's the Great Road. I'm trying to think.
Probably 206.
But you come up to there's a traffic light where it says Skillman. It's past like the BMS buildings and all that stuff. That's past the high school. And you make a left, and then there's a 1-lane bridge.
Yeah.
And his street is the first right. So I went out there a couple times to jam with him, and he runs an open mic actually at the Hopewell Valley Bistro.
Oh.
So I go out there a couple times to jam with him, and the road is just like one big S curve.
It's
You know?
like Deer Central out there.
Oh my Lord, that's what I was going to say. And I come out to go home both times. I could have just I needed a plow. I needed a cow catcher like the old locomotives. There are just deer everywhere,
Yeah.
standing in the
And
middle
they're really
of the road,
creepy in the middle of the night. They're just like looking at you, like
as if like they're
standing
going to
in a herd,
attack.
You're like,
It's like that. It's like that
Yeah.
Queens of the Stone Age video.
yeah.
Put you on the top of your car, drive away.
Right.
Right? Just exactly. I'm thinking, okay, I know one of you is the henchman here. Which one's going to attack me?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But
You get
so
that
yeah,
look.
that's a great area out there, though.
Yeah, it's nice. We live in Ocean County now, so it's totally different. But we wanted to be near the beach, so
Okay.
that's what we do.
Well, that's all right too.
Yeah.
Something I realized, and I didn't really realize it until I got involved with this area back in 2006, 7, maybe 5, somewhere in that area, and I started gigging in the Jersey Shore area. There's nothing that's far. Like I had friends who grew up in Old Bridge. And I'm thinking, okay, Old Bridge, right? But if I go to Old Bridge, I'm not that far from, Raritan and Long Branch.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I didn't realize these were that connected by this one road, And then
everything's close.
I didn't. And I
New York
lived in the
ain't-
state
New
my
York's
whole
not
life.
That, New York's not that far, and God knows you have Englishtown, which is good.
That would right.
I'm in Englishtown every weekend.
That's
I
right.
love
Are
that
you?
place.
All of our
Of course.
treasures.
Nice.
Just found some good stuff.
I love
there
it.
for
I
the
love
band.
that. I love that.
Who
you
did
know.
the artwork for your CD? Speaking
Me.
of treasure, okay.
Well, actually, this is obviously an old movie that I kind of appropriated because it is it's in public domain. So
Okay.
I was lucky.
What
enough.
is it?
It is from. I forget the name of this movie again. It's funny. I just happened to find a picture, and I was like, it seemed pretty appropriate for what's going on in our place right now. But there you go. It's Welcome to the Modern World. And, the woman with her brain in a jar, and it's got, like, wires hooked up to it. It's very beautiful.
Nice.
So, and a big needle sitting there in front of her.
It's a feel-good.
Why the
Feel-good
title?
picture.
Why the title? Why?
Well, it's the actual... it's the title song of the record. And it was actually... I was going to call it... what was the original name of the record again? Jeez, I hate getting old.
I don't remember.
I forgot the name of the record, but it ended up it became modern. Welcome to the Modern World because of the title song.
Right. Okay.
And it's like kind of about what's going on in our country and the world, and it's like it's what's going on now. It's very, very, very time sensitive.
You know what? Before I get any further, it just struck me as we were sitting here talking. Do you guys websites, social media? How do we find you?
Okay, you would go to www.mrpaydayband.com, and then we also have Bandcamp, our Bandcamp site, which you can get our music from. And the new record is going to be out on August 25th, even though I just got the CDs today. I actually got the case of records came in today. And so we're going to be ready. They'll be in stores on the 25th. I'll be running around and delivering them early and making sure that they put them out there. So people want to buy them, they can get them. And we're doing a big CD release show, like I said, on the 26th at Pino's in Highland Park, which is kind of our home base now. Now that
And where's Pino's located?
It's in Highland Park, New Jersey.
Do you have an address?
It's
Street?
on 4th.
South 4th Street
Okay.
in Highland Park. And it's definitely become the hub of like rock. It's very casual
It's a really
place.
cool place.
It's casual. It's free to get in. There's no admission charge, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And the band, a lot of really good bands playing with us on the 26th. We have a band called Sucks, who are great. They used to be the guys who used to be in AOD. They're playing, and then there's Adam Driver, which has got Mike Palilli from Buzzkill and Mark Siegel from Boss Jim Geddes playing, and a really good bass player that they have playing with them. And then also a band called Dentist from down here somewhere. I think they're from Asbury.
Dentist.
They're really a good band, and everybody should come out and see it. Come out and see this show because it's going to be good. It's free to get in. You can come down and you can buy a CD. Buy music. That's the thing. Buy music. Nobody does it anymore. But
what do you subscribe to? I know artists who they go and they get 1,000 CDs made, and then they try to sell them for anywhere from $5 to $10. And 6 months later, they've got 985 CDs.
yeah, that's
still
why
left.
that's why I bought 100. And if we have to, we'll order more.
Well, right, but these artists subscribe to, this is my art, and I deserve to sell it. Others that I've dealt with subscribe to the theory of, I will give the music away because I want people to hear it, and I'm going to make my money off of my merch. T-shirts, hats,
Yeah.
belt buckles, whatever they're selling, Which one do you guys
I'd say it's a little
It's
bit
a little
from
both,
both.
yeah.
It's a little of both. I mean,
We give the CDs out to
give
supporters and
yeah,
tell them
anybody
to
I
spread
know
the
is going
word
to come out. If you come out to see my band play a lot,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to probably just give you a copy of the record. I don't care, But, I mean, we have, the Bandcamp thing I think is really good. I like that a
because
lot.
you can listen to it, but you can also download it for price.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good deal. I think, plus the bands make more money from doing that, and it's good. I mean, we're trying to get more into doing merch now because, I like to be able to, at least when it comes time to make the next record, I don't want to be sitting there pulling money out, and trying to do that again. I mean, personally, I'd like to be self-sufficient at least. It'd be nice to make money somewhere down the line, but I don't see it happening. It's, music's cathartic, and I like playing. I like writing music. I'm going to continue writing music. If you don't want to hear it, I don't care. I'm going to continue doing it. So, I'm hoping that people enjoy the music and, we become the most popular band in America. And, we topple like Lady Gaga off the charts and we kick Jay-Z right off the radio. That'd be great because personally he's terrible. But that's just me saying it.
Along those lines, what do you think of the state of music today? I mean, there are no record companies.
Right.
They're all big distribution hubs now.
Yeah.
Well, there's good and bad things about it. I think because everything's available for you. You don't have to go and buy the whole record. You can just have little tastes of things, which is nice. But at the same time, I kind of miss going out and buying an actual physical copy.
Right.
Because then I would listen to it from start to finish, which a lot of times that's how they're designed. One song kind of flows into the next, and if you're just downloading songs, you don't get that.
Right.
So
That's where we make. That's why we made this record.
There's
so.
good and bad things about it. Again, I like the convenience. We have one of those. I don't know. I guess I could say it. Google. Can I say brand names on public television? It's one of those little home things, and you just tell it to play music, and it's very convenient. But
what
you don't listen.
Alexa or
It's like that. It's
Yeah.
my husband got it for free with a cell phone or something. But
Look,
it's
so
nice.
play
'cause,
that
you
Mr.
can-
Payday band.
Yeah. So, but but then you kind of miss just playing a record from start to finish. So I like to do that too.
Well, then you throw streaming services into the mix, and it's a big, like Spotify and Pandora.
Right.
I don't,
it's the same kind. It pulls from those.
We
So
did that.
it's
We did that originally with Spotify. I won't put our stuff on Spotify again. I don't think it's something I want to subscribe to. Not something they don't pay the artists. I mean, they're making
You
money.
have to have so many downloads. before
It's
you get money or
ridiculous.
something.
It's
I don't understand, from my area, I'm from around Trenton, and
how did you say that?
Trenton.
There
Yeah,
you
I was
go.
like, there's too
Thank
much
you.
tea.
And thank God my wife wasn't here. My
Is she from
would be
Trenton?
my wife be like,
Is she from
Trenton?
She'd
Boom!
be like, he's not from Trenton.
Oh yeah, believe me. You ever see on Popeye
Is she from
when
Trenton?
you hit somebody with
Yeah,
the
she's
anvil
from-
fist? That's my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's got the anvil
Where'd
fist.
she grow up?
She grew up down in Chambersburg.
Right by me. How about that?
Yep.
That's too funny.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. Every time we go to Trenton, it's I get a guided tour through the whole town.
Yeah, Trenton isn't what it used to be.
No, it's not at all. But I mean, she still loves it. She
All
loves.
the,
She loves Trenton, and it's
All the Italian restaurants are gone.
oh, that's all they've
all of the
moved out.
churches are gone. The Berg
That's
is
weird.
not the Berg anymore.
That's
It's-
actually, you know what? Now that we're saying, that's another place. It's our home place
Camps?
to play. No,
Oh.
Mill Hill.
Oh, the Mill Hill Saloon.
Mill Hill basement.
Mill Hill
I
basement.
Love
There
the
a
Mill
lot.
Hill. Dave Locane, man, he's the man. It's the only other place besides Pino's that I feel at home at. As far as clubs, that place is great. I love Mill Hill. I almost can't believe I forgot about that. That's really one of our other home bases. I love playing there. It's more fun than anything.
That's so funny.
It's like the ultimate dump, and I love it. It's awesome. I go in there and it's
There's always a lot of people there, though, too.
Yeah, it is. And you
Yeah.
get people that never see your band, and they're there.
You know what drives me nuts about the Mill Hill basement? Is there's another case in point of what we talked about earlier. I've reached out to my nephew is very good friends with Dave, and I used to do a column for the Trentonian newspaper. I did their live local music column every Thursday. It went in the paper.
Okay.
Did that for almost 5 years, and beside the article I would write on a local band or a band that was coming through the area, I used to do venue listings of all the venues in the area. And I could never list Mill Hill Basement because their website was never updated. Their Facebook page has nothing.
That's part of it.
You know, and I reached out to Dave a couple of times, and I got nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
Dave.
And I'm thinking to myself, you know, how as a venue promoter or owner, and not just Dave, anybody, because I've found this. John and Peters in New Hope, I reached out to them guys.
Oh, they're like
they're hard
you
to
know,
get into.
they're hard. I like playing there. We had a great time. We played
We did
there
a couple times.
The last time we played there, we had such a great time, and it's like we can't get back in. We happened to luck into it because this guy, a friend of mine, Steve, it got us in there, and it ended up. You know, we can't get back in. And I tried working it out because I'm good friends with Ray Kubian, and he's like he always plays with Mickey from Ween. You know, I have the Ween connection again. So.
Well, Dean goes there.
Yeah, well, that's their home. That's our home base. But I mean, Ray's been playing there. I've known Ray forever, and you know, Ray plays with the Dean Ween band, and he was trying to get us in there, and you know, just like it's a pain in the neck. And
Well, and that's the thing, you know, I'm offering, and when I lost the gig at the Trentonian, because they got rid of all their freelancers. I should have known after the check bounced that there was trouble. But when they got rid of all
First
their
sign.
when they got rid of their freelancers, Gary Ween from New Jersey Stage asked me, he's like, you know what, Danny, you put your column on my site anytime. So for the last probably 4 years, 5 years now, I've been putting my column on New Jersey Stage every Thursday.
I haven't talked to Gary in a long time.
And
He's a good guy.
oh yeah, Gary's great. And I still do the listings. So, you know, and it's free. I don't want anything from them. All I want is them to email me their entertainment schedule.
Yep, good luck.
Or update their website, update their Facebook page. Nothing.
I know.
Nothing.
It's always like that. I mean, sometimes, you know what, it's like, I understand that because sometimes, you know, you're behind on stuff too. But you should definitely try make more of an effort. Now, particularly, it's like become a you know, it's like you're leaving money on the table if you don't do that. You need to get, you know, the word out about what's going on in your club. Believe me, I used to work very hard to try to get mine out. I'd have to, like, every week I would fax out the stuff to the papers, because back then that's what you did. You didn't email, you did faxing.
And a business card size ad was like $400, you know, for the weekend.
Now, we used to get a pretty decent deal from the EC Rocker back in the day, and they were always good with us as far as that stuff because we used to run the ads, and you know, that's from, you know, my experience from back.
And you did better with the underground papers than you did with the mainstream press.
Yeah,
you know, it was just.
Yeah, you're not going to get anything by
No,
putting
and-
anything in the other papers.
Right. So if anybody's watching this show and you're from Mercer, Bucks, or Burlington counties, or, you know, Bucks and over in Pennsylvania, hit me up with your band schedule. If you're within my range, I'll put it in there for you.
Yeah, I'll be sending that over to you.
It's just
See, I don't even think of this stuff, but I got to really get more on it too, especially with the band doing what it's doing. I'm really trying to push this out. We got a lot of stuff going on. You know, whenever I can corral my drummer into playing a gig, when he's not doing like a tour, his like mini tour of the world.
right.
You know,
Well,
he's
good for him.
got 3 bands besides us, so it's become kind of it's a thing what it is. And I love my Nicky, but he's a pain in my neck.
So after
You are a pain in my neck, Nick.
after the CD release party and the Rock New Brunswick,
Yes.
what else is going on for Mr. Payday?
Mr. Payday, I'm hoping we're going to be playing the Raritan River Festival too. I'm waiting to hear back about it. It should be on the 24th. I'm hoping we're playing it. I'm going to promo it anyway, even if we don't play it. I'm promoing this gig. And we're probably going to play at least a basement show somewhere down the line. And we're also going to be doing some other stuff. You know, the basement shows, I still like. The funny thing is, like, being as my age, which I don't want to get into how old I am, okay? I mean, like, was about 5 years ago, I lived in a show house in New Brunswick. Now, I don't know if anybody's familiar with what goes on in New Brunswick, but there are probably about 5 or 6 houses in town that have shows. They present shows every weekend, or even during the week, they'll have shows in the house, and it's like a hush-hush thing, you know, underground, and being, you know, an older fella living in a show house was kind of weird. But I enjoyed it because it was like, you know what, I love music, and
We
you know what,
used
I
to
got
practice there, too.
we used to practice there, and we also played show clubs,
And you
show
got to
houses.
meet new bands and new music.
Well, you know what,
and
you meet a
mentor
lot of-
some people, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, man. Well, nobody really wanted to meet a mentor because if they did, they would be in big trouble. But they learned all my bad habits.
Well, speaking
Especially
of bad
back
habits,
then. Now that I'm in a much better place than I was.
we are actually going to. I'm going to go read an ad about Monmouth Music, and while I'm doing that, you guys are going to set yourselves up because we've come to the end of the program.
Okay.
So-
Well, it was nice chatting.
Of course, we'll be doing it again at the end of September, right?
Yeah.
On
Yep.
my
So
radio
with
program.
Everybody that time.
Oh,
So, with the
yeah.
whole band.
Good luck
Yeah.
with those guys.
We'll be discussing that too because
Hey, once you bring-
you
once
see
you-
here, Mario has this nice load in right here. You just walk right in the side door. It's flat.
Yeah.
Up there, it's like 26 steps just to get to the first floor. No elevator. So
We'll live. It's gonna be small equipment, so it won't be that bad. It's not like I'm
All
hauling. It's not like I'm gonna be hauling my Marshall up a flight of stairs. So
well, that's yeah. Oop,
All right, so we
pulling
should
you
go,
with me, Caroline.
All right.
All right, I'm going to go over here and see my good friend Tom. And you guys are going to get yourselves ready.
all right.
And I'm going to step over here. There we go. And we're going to talk about Monmouth Music. Right, Tom? As always, here you go. Established in 1987, Monmouth Music is located in the center of historic Red Bank, New Jersey, which is voted the third best town in the United States by Smithsonian Magazine. Located within walking distance of the famed Count Basie Theater, the Red Bank train station, and many of the town's fine eateries. Monmouth Music continues the tradition of being a destination store for all levels of musician, from beginner through professional. New owner Mario DiBartolo, a lifelong musician, offers a wide selection of brand name instruments at everyday low prices, both new and used, and with personal, professional, and expert service only a family-owned and operated store can provide. If Doug,
Yes, sir.
does the neck on your guitar or banjo need repairing? Almost. That was right on cue, don't you think?
Yeah, that's good.
Do the valves on your saxophone need to be refitted? Regardless of what day it is, bring your instrument to Monmouth Music for quality repairs. You'll enjoy prompt service from a team of repairmen who are always available. And again, I want to say hello to everybody and thank you for tuning in tonight at Long Branch Cable, Channel 20, as well as right here on Carousel Arts. Please subscribe because we've got the dedicated URL, but we want to keep going. So here on YouTube. And good job. Man, you got an old Vox amp down there, huh?
It's not old.
No?
It's actually a piece of crap.
Yeah, looks pretty old. I mean, I don't know if they still make them knobs, do they?
Cat scratched it up.
All right. Well, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right. We've got 50% of Mr. Payday right here. Doug and Caroline, enjoy.
How you guys doing out there? All right. What do you want to start off with, Caroline? Would you like to do This Town is Dead?
Sure.
This Town is Dead. I wrote this song about Asbury Park a long time ago when it was really a dead town. It's actually come back, and now I could say it's really about New Brunswick now. So here you go. As time decays your world away, it doesn't mend itself, it just cracks and sways. The streets are laid with bones and brains that are left to terminate. Once a town it had prospered, now engulfed in an acrid haze, and others abandoned, boarded up and town is dead. Now it's dead, dead, now. We tried to raise with bricks and cement, a high rise and sweep it all away. But when the tide begins to rise, it rules the two stones marking the grave, paving over the past and fencing us into a brand new age. History is forgotten and humanity just fades away. Now, 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 now. This town is dead now, 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 now. This town is dead now, 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 now. This town is dead now, 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 now. This town is dead. Now it's dead. Now. Rise, rise, rise. Rise, rise, rise. Whoa. Go. Now, 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 now. This town is dead now, 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 now. This town is dead, dead, dead. All right, we're gonna get right back into some more music. Thank you very much. All right,
Now and
what would you like to do next?
Now and forever.
Now and Forever. This is one of the lead-off songs on our new record, Welcome to the Modern World, out on August 25th. It's going to be available at Vintage Vinyl, this place in Highland Park, the back of my car,
Back
gigs,
of my car.
the back of your car. It's going to be available everywhere, I tells you. You know, Tower Records. Oh, I forgot they're not around anymore. Oh. Disco Matt, you know, Sam Goody. It's going to be at all the big stores.
Goody.
You look for that Sam Goody. It's out there, I tells you. Okay, what are we playing again?
Now
Oh,
and
Now and
Forever.
Forever. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I think about how we started, so close and yet so far away. Now I couldn't imagine a moment in time in which we never had met. Like a picture captured forever. My love for you will never fade away. And when I look into your eyes, I see the one I want to spend my life. Now and forever, the world may turn,
But this will never change.
how many years will we tied up, handcuffed to another time and a place?
Whoa.
Like I said, that's another one off of our record. And here comes the one that comes after that on the new record, to Broken Wing. All right, ready? Are we ready? Let me just tune up. Make sure I'm in tune. You know, it's a funny thing about being in a band. You know, you actually have to tune your guitar once in a while, and this thing's actually staying in tune very nicely today. So that's a good thing. You know, I put new strings on it. Okay, ready? Born into a world where love is not expressed,
Feelings are suppressed, emotions close to the vest.
and when they beat you down, leave you crying in your room.
Damn it, you can't see. Your soul just wants to scream. Look out the window, what do you see? It's a tiny sparrow falling from a tree, falling to the earth. Poor little bird, precious battered thing. You're an angel with a broken wing.
And when they're screaming and they're breaking you down again, wishing
You were never born, always feeling scorn.
hiding in your room and getting lost inside a song.
Pain it moves along, music rights the wrong. Look out the window, what do you see? It's a tiny sparrow falling from a tree, falling to the earth. Poor little bird, phoenix in rebirth, gonna rise. Precious fragile thing, you're an angel with a broken wing.
Oh yeah, nice happy pop song about child abuse.
That's fantastic. There's my camera right there. All right, guys. This is Mr. Payday, and I want to thank them. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Doug, for coming out tonight to see us. And yeah, I'm right in between the two of them here. So
Okay.
let me steal your mic,
Yeah.
Caroline.
Okay.
A little better. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Next week, we have... Who do we have next week, Nash? Let me think. I'm trying to think. What is next week's date? August 1st? I don't know.
Like, I think it's like a fifth, actually the fifth.
Is the 5th?
Yeah, it would
August
be-
5th?
Yeah, because tomorrow's the 1st.
We're in the time zone here. Time warp.
It would be 6. It's probably 6.
All right.
7th, there you go.
August 7th. Whoa.
7th, and it's the Anderson Council.
That's right. The Anderson Council will be here. That's another Making Waves organization, Rock, New Brunswick.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
Good guys, man.
Yeah,
Great
great band.
beat.
Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for making it out here this evening to appear. And tune in next week. We'll have one more. Good night.